Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Abundio Noel Libot. Thanks for the suggestion, Noel. You asked, why is banana ketchup red if it's made from bananas? Because if bananas are yellow, and ketchup is usually made from tomatoes, which are red, then what kind of condiment sorcery is happening here? Are we being lied to by our own sauces? Well, today, we're getting to the bottom of this fruity deception, from wartime shortages to food psychology. And trust me, it's weirder than you think. So, if you've ever squeezed a bottle of banana ketchup and wondered, what's going on here? Stick around, because we're cracking open the mystery right here on Explaining Everything. First things first, what even is banana ketchup? If you've never heard of it, banana ketchup is a Filipino condiment made from mashed bananas, vinegar, sugar, and spices. It's sweet, tangy, and a little thicker than tomato ketchup. But despite having 0 tomatoes, it still looks exactly like the ketchup you know and love. Why? Because it's dyed red, on purpose, deliberately misleading sauce. But before you go yelling at the nearest bottle of banana ketchup, let's talk about how this bizarre condiment came to be. The story of banana ketchup starts in the Philippines during World War II. Back then, the country was dealing with a major tomato shortage. Why? Because importing tomatoes wasn't exactly a priority when the world was, literally at war. Enter Maria Orosa, Filipino scientist, war hero, and certified kitchen genius. She looked at the tomato scarcity and said, "Fine, I'll do it myself." So instead of using tomatoes, she turned to something the Philippines had way too many of: bananas. Bananas were cheap, local, and abundant. Plus, they could be mashed into a smooth paste, kind of like tomato puree. She tweaked the recipe, added some vinegar and spices, and boom, banana ketchup was born. But there was just one problem. It was brown. Now, imagine this. You're in the 1940s. You see a bottle labeled ketchup. You open it up, and instead of a bright, appetizing red, you're greeted with brown goop. Delicious. It turns out people just weren't emotionally ready for brown ketchup. Something about it felt wrong, like morally wrong. So, to make it look more like the ketchup people already knew and loved, manufacturers started adding red food coloring. And just like that, banana ketchup became the red imposter we know today. And honestly, it worked. People embraced banana ketchup, and now, in the Philippines, it's a household staple. All right, here's where things get even funnier. The war ended. Tomatoes became available again. But banana ketchup? Still red. At this point, there's no actual need for it to be red. We all know it's made from bananas. But if you were to release a naturally yellow or brown banana ketchup today, people would probably riot. It's like how green ketchup was a thing in the early 2000s but flopped because our brains weren't ready. Ketchup equals red. That's just how it is. Plus, let's be real. If you put red and brown ketchup side by side, one looks delicious and the other looks like an accident. Now, let's settle this once and for all. Which one is better? Tomato ketchup, the classic, the OG, the gold standard of fry dipping, versus Banana ketchup, the underdog. The sweet, tangy twist you didn't know you needed. Here's the deal. If you've only ever had tomato ketchup, banana ketchup will confuse you at first. It's sweeter, has a tiny bit of spice, and goes amazingly well with Filipino food like fried chicken, hot dogs, and even spaghetti. Yes, spaghetti. Don't ask, just try it. Filipino spaghetti, by the way, is already sweeter than regular spaghetti, so banana ketchup just adds to the flavor bomb. It's like if your childhood mac and cheese and spaghetti had a delicious, slightly chaotic baby. Meanwhile, tomato ketchup is great for burgers, fries, and pretending you like hot dogs at barbecues when you're really just there for the snacks. At the end of the day, there's no wrong answer. But if you've never tried banana ketchup, you're missing out. So, there you have it. Banana ketchup is red because our brains said so. If history had gone differently, we might all be squeezing yellow ketchup onto our fries and not thinking twice about it. But thanks to the power of food coloring and a little bit of deception, banana ketchup remains one of the most unexpected twists in condiment history. And honestly, we respect it. So next time you see a bottle of banana ketchup, give it a nod of appreciation for its resilience, its rich history, and for successfully fooling us all for decades. If you enjoyed this and are now curious about trying out banana ketchup, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me what you think about the condiment you're missing out on. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.